Hi, how y'all doing? It is Tuesday, April April 15th, 9:20 p.m. How are we already halfway through April? I'm still trying to get used to the fact that we're in 2025. How are we already halfway through April? Next time I turn around, I'm going to be 42. Got a couple birthdays in between. My beloved niece, who for the first 6 years of her life was very much like my daughter. She grew up here in my house, and I love that little girl like she was my own. Very hard for me when her mama took her off to live in Missouri. She'll be 10 years old in May. 10 years old. I hadn't seen her since she was 6. Haven't talked to her in forever either. Very hard to get a hold of her mom. I just hope she's okay. And my dad's got a birthday in May too. And so does my nana, my dad's mom. I haven't seen her since I was 7 years old. But I remember her very clearly. And then my childhood best friend is middle of June. He'll be 40. Holy shit, he'll be 40 years old. Hadn't seen him in a long time either. That's just because he decided to stop coming around. He's done that, 3 or 4 times now. We were like brothers. But every now and then he'll find somebody more interesting to hang out with, I guess, and I don't see him for a while. And then he'll drift back into my life. And as far as I knew, he still lived here in St. Augustine, but he moved not terribly long before he stopped coming around, and I knew where he was living, and he told me the road that he moved to, but never gave me his address. And he lives on a rather lengthy road here in St. Augustine. But I have made up my mind not to go chasing after people that only care about me sometimes. He was my best friend for a long time. But he does have a habit of, when he finds somebody more interesting to hang out with, I'm suddenly forgotten about. And like I said, I'm not going to chase people that aren't worth chasing. He knows my number. He knows where I live. Then there's my birthday. And then I got my cousin Robert, cousin Bob, in August. I hadn't seen him since I was 10. That's when he passed away. He lived just long enough to hold my baby sister. And he passed away not long after from cystic fibrosis. My younger brother, he was last month. Turned 38. God, I can't believe my little brother's 38 years old. But he decided to trade his family in on a psycho chick that runs a polycule of dudes, of which he is one of, and not sure how that works. I don't want to know how it works. And same thing, you know. He left. And we don't talk. I'd like to talk. I miss him. But it almost seems like he's not allowed to talk on the phone. And most of the time, when you're talking to him on Messenger, you don't know if you're talking to him or if you're talking to her, because they do that. She runs his phone and she talks for him. So ain't got nobody else but my good buddy Scott. Got his birthday in October. Joey's birthday in October. He'll be 8 years old. 8 years old. I look at him and I still see my little baby boy that used to nap on my chest. They grow up way too fast. Got my ex-wife's birthday in October too. I still got the last birthday present I bought her. She didn't want it. I didn't have the heart to do away with it. Just put away. It was a really pretty little matching set. Pearl necklace, pearl earrings. She don't really wear bracelets. But we got this cute little pearl shop here in town, downtown. And we had this other store called Silver Feather. And they're like an eclectic Native American store. A lot of different silver jewelry, all kinds of, different themes. And she absolutely loved that place, loved all the jewelry. And she told me very early on in our relationship that if ever I was at a loss to get her something from Silver Feather. She loves everything there. And I did that for so many years. The very first piece of jewelry I bought her was from there. And maybe a year before she left me, we had this cute little pearl shop move into town. And I bought her a necklace from there, and picked out a pair of earrings there for her from Joey. Pearls are expensive. She loved pearls too and didn't have a lot of them, so went there and bought her this real pretty set for her birthday in 21. She didn't want it. Didn't even care to open it. So it still sits in a cupboard tucked away in the bag that it came in from the pearl shop, still wrapped up in the gift paper that the lady that owned the pearl shop wrapped it up in. I don't ever bother with it. But I have adapted this ritual for all you asshats that are so mad that I talk down about her so much. On her birthday, I take it out and I light a little purple birthday candle. Purple is her favorite color. I let the candle burn for a little bit, and I sit there and I stare at that birthday present. Those two little wrapped packages. And I say, happy birthday, love. I miss you. And I do. God, I miss her something terrible. She ruined my life. She tore it apart. She tore her son's life apart. All because she just wasn't happy. She had her mama and some of her so-called friends in her ear, pushing her to do it, but she's still the one that pulled the trigger. But God, I miss her. I if Joey's not here, I even get real down and play our song. Knock back a little bourbon. Big tough bear of a man. I cry for her all over again. Cry over her all over again. Tough guy. It's funny. Someone legitimately does their best to hurt you. And they continue to do that years after. And you can still feel that way about them. And it was funny too, our song. And she kind of picked it out as our song. I hadn't really singled it out, in the beginning. Wasn't even really aware we had a song. I had a song for her. My song for her was Little Bitty Pretty One by Thurston Harris. My favorite 50s rock song. But she decided our song should be Danny's song, Kenny Loggins. It's that one where he says, even though we ain't got money, I'm so in love with you, honey. And I thought it fit. That was our song. And it turned out the fact that I didn't have money was a big part of the problem. I wasn't working. She didn't like being the breadwinner, even though she made more than enough to be so. She didn't like being the main provider. She didn't like me using her money. And she tried to say that I was using her for her money. And I'm just like, no, grow up. And it's funny because I probably talked about this before, but if I had been the $150,000 a year pharmacist and she the cancer patient that was, doing her best to keep everything together, trying to take care of the house and, raise the kid, and I left her the way she left me, I would have been ostracized by the world. I would have been dragged through the coals in the courts. But she wasn't happy. She wasn't happy with the situation. And that made everything okay. The only people that didn't, say that there was nothing wrong with it were my parents, and my brother and sister at the time. Everybody else was, it's fine. She's looking out for her. don't want to get into the social political thing, but it is funny how back in the day, and even now, when men and women, adhered to more traditional gender roles, and men are still expected to adhere to those traditional gender roles by and large. Women aren't. You start talking about traditional gender roles for women, and suddenly you're a misogynist and a sexist and all this other crazy shit. But, the man, when the man's the provider, he makes the money, pays the bills. Doesn't matter the reason, whether, something serious or something stupid. Unless, he can prove that she was doing something wrong. And even then, in some cases, when there's a divorce, the wife is still entitled to half of everything he's got. They either get the house or they force the sale of the house to split the difference. But there's never any talk of the man, getting half of what she has. She gets half of everything, and it continues to ruin men's lives. The kids almost automatically always go to the wife. And when the man is in that role, it's expected. Even if they're both working, it's still expected that the man provide. And it seems like most women, when the man can't provide, or when they start making more money than him, they're okay with it for a while, but then they start looking down on the man. My wife did that to me. But the man has to be okay with it, because that's your job. You're supposed to provide. You're supposed to take care of everything. And if the woman's doing that, she doesn't have to be okay with it. She gets to have her cake and eat it too, or complain when she doesn't, She gets to leave you because she doesn't want to be in that role. And, it all comes down to family. In the old days, it was, the family finances, what's yours is mine, what's mine is yours. Nowadays, it's much more of a what's mine is mine and what's yours is mine, coming from the wife. And it's not fair, and it's not right. We both could have done things differently than what we did. I should have done some things differently. But I know in my heart that no matter what I did, what I would have done, she would have done everything exactly the same way she did it. God, I still miss her. I would not take her back for all the stars in the sky. Because the person that I was in love with is not who she is. That was a facade that she held for quite some time. But when she finally got what she wanted out of me, that facade dropped like a hot rock, and the real person that she is came out. And I tried to fix it, but she didn't want to. So I say love stinks, and it ain't what it used to be. So there's my ramble. I've run to my time limit. Don't know how I got on that subject, but what the hell. I'm not gonna make another video tonight. It's late and I'm tired. GoFundMe link is in the description if y'all want to donate. If not, okay. Hope y'all have a good night, and I'll talk to you tomorrow or the next day. Bye-bye.